Guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a new video. Today it is Tuesday the 1st of November and everyone is kind of looking already for tomorrow when the FOMC meeting is going to happen. Very most likely they're going to rise the interest rates with 0.75%, but it is the tone after the interest rate hike what is important and what we can expect. We're going to dive into charts right away. Please do me a favor, like, subscribe, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment, share this video with your friends if you think that's useful. Now without further ado, let's start diving in. We are starting off here with the BTC USD pair on the 1 hour. And yesterday we actually had that slow grind up. I had a small trade in this area right here, but eventually I closed it. Because it just all looked pretty weak. Now eventually during the night we kind of slowly grinded up. We even a little bit in the channel you could say, and now we broke lower, but to be honest it's still not very volatile or heavy price action. Like I said, I think like a lot of markets will be waiting for the Fed for tomorrow. So also during the day on the European markets I do not expect a lot until the news comes out for the Fed. That is, if I'm not mistaken, 2 o'clock ish. We're going to look at the calendar in a second, and then half an hour later is a press conference, and with 2 o'clock I mean New York time. Alright, cool. So BTC, we're kind of making here this range where we said okay, we have a slight higher high, a higher low. If we are now breaking lower and we are creating a new low, then we could say, well, then we have a pretty bearish price action being established, at least on the 1 hour, with a high, a lower high, a lower high, and here also a low, and then a lower low, and then suddenly it looks actually pretty bad. If you are a bull, of course, then you want to see this low to be held. We could dip just a little bit lower, like have a swing field pattern, and then going higher if it happens. But if you are a bull, you actually want to see this now going higher and take out this high. Even an equal high, so also here in this point of control, then go lower is still kind of weak. I haven't changed my bias compared to yesterday, so I'm staying very cautious on the bearish side. We still have a scenario for a triple divergence here on the 4 hour. If that is possible, then you want to see this coming up, making a new high on the price, and then we have the momentum wave with a 3 tap to the low. That would be very nice. Or maybe something like a swing field pattern, and of course would also count, but then we need to take out these highs. So there nothing has changed. The trading range so far stays a little bit tight, and we are above that a little bit of a bigger range that we had here underneath us that we left. And you can also see that this support line, or the resistance what it was before, is now support, and so far it just works fine. We just bounced off exactly on that support line, so far that's nice, but this could be kind of a deviation before we're breaking lower. Everything will most likely stand and fall with the news tomorrow. Quickly to the dollar index, always have a quick peek. This so far is a little bit of retracement, needs to cool down. You can also see that it stops exactly here at this area where we also saw some support in the past. If that doesn't hold, then looking out for approximately this level right here. So right now at 110, then to 110.2. This is currently 110.7. If that doesn't hold, then the low here at 109 approximately. And of course, if the dollar index goes down further, then BTC have more room to go to the upside. The S&P 500 so far did exactly what we wanted. It took out this high and is now rolling over. That looks good. There's only one thing, we have not completely filled the gap from yesterday, and the 1 hour money flow actually still looks pretty good, so we might have another impulse to the upside. If that happens and we're taking out the current high again and then really going higher, then I am looking out for a much bigger price level, and that is the approximately 4,000. That is then the new golden pocket. We've already talked about that multiple times, so I'll not go too much into detail. What I want to go over is the calendar. This is the calendar with the most important economic data coming out for today. On a calendar scale, this is a lot of data. This is really a lot of data, and I just want to show you that so much is going on in the world. There's so much news is coming out and economic data that might move the markets a bit. And then of course for tomorrow we have the FOMC meeting. statement, and then the press conference. Here you can see that's 7 p.m. London time, if I'm not mistaken, or Frankfurt, I don't know exactly. So it will be I think 8 in the States. There's also summer winter time right now in Europe. And then this is then for the day after. You can see also still a lot of data which is coming out, and then this is on Friday. Then we have unemployment change in Canada, and a non-farm employment change also in the States. This is usually also a big one that can move the markets. So there's still a lot coming up. For the upcoming interest rate hike of tomorrow, most of the market, almost 90%, is expecting a 75% basis points, so a 0.75%, so 75% basis points rate hike. Just a very small percentage is thinking that it will be 0.5%, and for the next meeting in December, it is a little bit split. Just more than half thinks it's going to be 0.5%, and shy of 38%, 37.9 thinks, well, maybe we get a 0.75% rate hike again. To be honest, I think that in this case the majority is right. I do not expect a 1% rate hike tomorrow. If that happens, all hell breaks loose. Dollar index will skyrocket. Markets will sell off, because that will be a big surprise. But I do not think so, and I also think that the one in December will be 0.5%. Reason is because there is also just not so much time in between, if I'm not mistaken, approximately 3 weeks. So then to have a very high rate hikes might spook the market a little bit. So I think at a certain point the Fed maybe also at the end of the year wants to make up the balance and say, okay, we have now already quite some increases. Let's see now first what it does. So I am definitely not in the camp that I think the Fed will pivot. Absolutely not. Just if they're going to slow down from 0.75 to 0.5, that is not a pivot. A pivot is a rate decrease, so that they will say, hey, we're taking something off instead of adding it. So that is a very big misconception that I see a lot on Twitter and social media. So that is absolutely not the case. So they're still hiking then the interest rate, but maybe on a slower pace, just to see what the effect is, because rising the interest rates usually has a lagging effect in the real economy from approximately 6 to 9 months. Meaning that if they do it now, they will see the effect somewhere between 6 and 9 months from now. So maybe they want to just make up the balance, see, you know what, let's just slow down a little bit. Let's see if the inflation wants to come down with what we have established so far. So I definitely think a 0.75%. Of course, it's also the other way around. If they surprise the markets, which I really do not expect, but if they surprise the market with 0.5%, it's all green. Dollar will sell off. Bitcoin and stocks will skyrocket. So that is kind of the narrative and the story. But like I said, I do not expect it at all, because core inflation, as you might remember, was super high. That skyrocketed to, if I'm not mistaken, 6.7%. And that was the highest so far this year, and that one needs to come down. So there is no reason to start lowering the interest rates. Also, unemployment rate is historically low, so all green lights for the Fed to keep rising the interest rates until inflation is at or around 2%. So that is important. But like I said, especially the tone of the press conference after the rate hike tomorrow is very important, and will most likely set the tone for the days and weeks after. Also, then of course for Bitcoin, if that tone is very hawkish, so very negative, and they say we'll do whatever we can to get the inflation down, I expect really volatile moves during the news and the rate hike. Because a lot of longs and shorts will be maybe liquidated on technical price levels, so maybe value area high, value area low, maybe an S&P or whatsoever. So expect a lot of volatility in those hours, and I think really the 12 to 24 hours leading up to the event, price will most likely go sideways. If you are not in a position yet, I would say wait until you have super clear confirmations and then enter a trade. Or just wait after the news has sunk in, after it did this, and yes, then you maybe miss some volatility. But you don't want to go long here, say, great, we're in a profit, and then right away they say something, that is completely the opposite way, then boom, you're just crashing down right away, stop loss, liquidated, and you name it, and then you might as well miss the move and just wait until it played out, and then just get the bigger move to the upside or to the downside, whatever is then your preference. That is probably also most likely what I am going to do, is that I will, if I am not in a clear position, which is in a clear profit at that time, I will most likely hold myself from trading until the news really comes out, and then I will afterwards, when the dust has settled in, then I will jump into to a trade. Alright guys, that will be it for now. Please do me a favor, follow me on Twitter, because I will be updating you there today, tomorrow, before, after, and during the rate hike of the Fed and the speech. So I will be following it live. Maybe I will even do a live stream. So yeah, definitely follow me there. The links are in the descriptions. Also feel free, of course, to like and subscribe to the channel. You would really do me a favor. And share the video with someone if you think that's very useful. Thank you guys so much. See you in the next one. Stay safe for the next few days, and see you guys very soon again. Bye bye.